Show. This is Darius, Stanton live at VoxWave.com. That's right. You know what time it is. Come on, y'all. Funky Friday, baby. Oh, do it. That's right. Hey, we got Poab crew in the house this morning. That's right. The Poab 10th anniversary this weekend is coming up. Oh, yeah. They're going to party all over the city. D.C., Prince George's County. That's right, we got Deacon Bullock and Sister Gertie Williams in the studio. And then coming up behind that, oh my goodness, you talking about I'm young, I'm black, and I'm proud. This brother right here, let me show you something. Munch and Crunch. Snacks and lunch. We're going to talk about books, men, and how important it is for us to teach our young people how to read. And once they learn how to read, they will sure enough succeed. On the Peace in the Morning show, y'all. But right now, it's time to funk it up. Funky Friday, baby. Come on, bro. Here we go. Oh, what's up, Leo?
Come on. Happy birthday, Lisa. Yes, indeed. Also, we got.
Come on, get behind you.
Sweet Pussy and all the crew. Come on.
on the Peace in the Morning show. Come on, you know what time it is. It's time to get up and groove. That's right. Come on. Rest in peace to the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. That's right. Ow. It's a Peace and Love Express, baby, on the Peace in the Morning show. Funky Friday. Give us a call at 240-719-2560. That's 240-719-2560. We got tickets to the Summer Soul Funk Festival coming up on August 25th at the Regency Stadium. That band. I mean, just a load of groups coming at you. Sponsored by DC Nightlife. Come on. A Funky Friday, baby. Oh, that's right. Live in the studio, the Peace in the Morning show. We got somebody calling in for those tickets, so let's get them on. Hey, let's break it on down. Let's see who we got on the line this morning real quick one time.
Hey, how you doing, brother? This is Lee Broadway, Annapolis' own Bywater's finest.
What's up, Lee Broadway? Peace in the morning. What's going on, brother?
Peace in the morning to you. I was wondering if I was in time to get them tickets, man.
You got them, brother. You got 4 tickets. That's right, 4 tickets. That's right, Family Fair, the Summer Soul Funk Festival.
Awesome.
You got it, brother. So we make sure, give us a call back right after the show, and you got the tickets. We make sure we get all your information, all right?
Okay, not a problem. What time does the show end?
10 o'clock, brother, 10 o'clock. So give us a call at 10:05 live, and we'll be right here with you on the Peace in the Morning show. Lee Broadway from Annapolis, Maryland, the first winner of the ZAP Summer Soul Funk Festival tickets 2018. Come on, it's Funky Friday, baby. All right, we got work to do. We got some people to talk to, so we're going to come right back with you. And when we come back, you can hear from Miss Gertie Williams and Deacon Bullock. That's right, POAD's 10th anniversary celebration all over the city. School supplies, the whole 9 yards. Coming out there for you, right here on the Peace in the Morning show. Darius A. Stanton. All right, now. Peace, Aretha, Queen of Soul.
I like both kids. Are so good to mama. You see, blood's thicker than the blood. It's a family affair. Family affair now. Yeah, it's a family affair, y'all. It's a family affair now. Oh, we love you. One child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn. Yeah. And another child grows up to be somebody that just loves to burn. You see, mama love the both of them now. You see it's in the blood. Hey, you're looking good now. You see, both kids are so good to mama. Hey, you see the blood is thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Yes, it is. One big family. Yeah, it's a family affair now. It's a family affair now. That's what it is, one big family, baby. I like a newlyweds. I like a year ago.
Whoa, rock your boat. Welcome to the Peace in the Morning show. This is Darius A. Stanton here, live at www.voxwave.com. Listen, we are so excited to be here this morning to have these dynamic folks who are doing some phenomenal work in our community. And so we want to share that, but we want to shout out right now before we move any further. Just take a moment and wrap ourselves around the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. You know, she impacted so many different people with her music, and people know what music does for the soul, let alone for the creation of babies, right? And so we want to thank her, though, for just being such a powerful sister, being so strong, and really moving to bring our community and our culture and our world to a whole nother level. So to her family, to all the people who work with her very closely, the musicians, just throughout the industry and again in the world. Shout out to the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. May you rest in peace. And your spirit through your music and your energy continue to really resonate with all of us. Shout out to Brother Brian Hops and B-Hop over there in London, our brother and partner over in London, England, who shared a song with me that was his favorite, and he said one of the best songs, and I listened to it last night. It's called Just Love. And when I tell you, you know that song, Just Love? No. It's powerful. Check it out. So listen, on with the show. This morning, we're very fortunate to have in the studio, you know, ladies are always first, two of the coordinators of the POAB 10th anniversary. So, Ms. Gertie Williams, welcome to the Peace in the Morning show.
Good morning. It's my delight to be here.
Excellent.
And I bring greetings from D.C. Department of Health Places of Worship Advisory Board.
Okay.
And we are so excited.
You have said Places of Worship Advisory Board.
Places of Worship Advisory
That's right.
Board.
And the key about that is not just one form of worship. It's a multidisciplinary group. They're
totally
not focused
ecumenical.
on, you know, one particular denomination. It's a breadth of denominations that are involved, races, cultures, and, you know, different people who are participating in this process.
We are fully ecumenical.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Ecumenical.
That's
Y'all got that? Spell that, and you can get 4 more tickets. Come on, 240-719-2560. You know, we're brilliant people. We're going to talk about books in a minute. And also with you this morning is our good brother, Deacon Bullock.
How are you?
Got a deacon in the house.
Right.
What's up, brother Deacon?
Good. Great. Yes, it's a pleasure also to be here this morning. Yes, I'm here speaking on behalf of Rising Sun Baptist Church. We're one of the interfaith, one of the churches, along with many, that has partnered with POAB and they're doing great work. So I'm here to share with you on behalf of our pastor, Marlo L. Mitchell, our First Lady Pamela Mitchell, in regards to this upcoming Community Day. For truly, we're looking for all those that are want to come out and receive what we have to offer: book bags, goods, clothing, fresh veggies, a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
For truly, it is the community event, and we just going to be shouting out to put the word out that all are welcome on this particular day.
So this day is celebrating the 10th anniversary. It's going to be held in 3 locations. We'll talk about the locations in a minute. I know one is Rising Sun Baptist Church in D.C., the other is
Imani Temple in Suitland,
Maryland. And then Anacostia Park.
Right.
In the District of Columbia.
Absolutely.
And that go-go that you heard just a minute ago, you know, that's going to be still reverberating, you know, whether or not I know you're going to have DJs out there, but that used to be a real hot go-go spot. Did you ever go to the Chuck Brown concerts in Anacostia Park?
No, I have not.
Okay. Neither have I. But I know it took place.
It's going on.
But so in terms of, tell us about what POAB really does in terms of its work with the community. I think one of the unique things about it is the fact that it has merged 3 different regions. Actually 4 now, because I understand West Virginia is on board. So you have West Virginia, state of Virginia, the District of Columbia, which needs statehood, by the way, and the state of Maryland. All 4 of those health departments and states have joined forces to do what?
Well, basically, we have come together to work on health and wellness. So we merge the faith community, and health and wellness issues, all types of health disparities, making information available. Tomorrow, of course, is our Community Day, but November 2nd is our annual conference, our One in the Spirit conference, and that's going to be held at the Kaiser Health and Wellness Center. And then we will have our formal 10th anniversary celebration, which is going to be in December. Early December.
Excellent.
We work together in various partnerships to bring health and wellness information, screenings, and just that whole dealing with health disparities.
Give us a website, please, that people can reach out to and find out more information about all the events you just mentioned.
Okay,
please.
so that's dc.poab.org. POWAB@dc.gov.
Excellent, excellent.
And the number is area code 202-671-5063.
Okay.
And our POAP, Department of Health Coordinator, is Regina Jefferson.
That's right. The powerful Regina Jefferson.
Yeah, the
Shout out to our
powerful
good sister,
Regina Jefferson.
and all the good people that work over there with her. And
then we have our two co-chairs, Minister Darrell and Minister Tolliver.
That's right. And we actually had Minister Darrell on the show last week. And the Diamond, Balboa, was in the studio with us.
Lady Diamond.
She was grooving too. You can go back to last week's show, you'll see her bumping and jumping all over the studio. So before we roll to our next segment, tell us again what you all are going to be giving away, because you got a lot for the community that's really good for the betterment of our young people and families. Please. Reverend Durham?
Okay.
I mean, Bullock, excuse me.
Okay.
Deacon, I promoted you real quick.
Thank you. At this location at 3126 South Dakota Avenue, at that site, we will have like 10 exhibitors that can come in and facilitate for us. It's a health fair. So we will be doing testing of HIV, hepatitis C, blood pressure, diabetes,
blood pressure.
So there's a lot of testing that's going to be going on. So if you concerned, want to maintain good health, by all means, this is the site you want to visit that morning to make sure your health is up to par. Along with that, we're offering there's our pantry foods is being given away, fresh fruit, fresh veggies.
Wonderful.
And, also,
that's what we need to get rid of that high blood pressure, sugar diabetes.
And clothing has been given away. And then we have a raffle chance, no raffle. We're just offering.
Giving away clothes.
We offering the main thing, right? This is our third year partnering with POAP. We've been doing this like going on 3 years. It has increased itself because they have what in these health providers for us. But we have been, and for starters, we have always been giving out book bags. Always been the main day in which we offer school supplies for the kids.
Excellent.
Okay, and along with that, we would offer them clothing, and then they can get bags of food. So
Wonderful.
That was all. But now that we partner together, now we're able to give them the healthcare part of it.
I know that's
right. They
right.
can reach out and do the testing, and we have
Excellent.
many people that has been tested for these illnesses that we know that plague our community.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
And once again, because we are promoting health and wellness, certainly we are going to give out our free produce and vegetables.
Excellent. That's right. And it's so important that we understand it's all free. What time does it start?
All free. It starts at 10 o'clock. It's from 10 to 3.
So get there before 2 o'clock, because
That's right.
if you come there around 2:30, you be short because you're only going to have 30 minutes. And in addition to that, the food and all the other good things may be limited at that point. So get there early so you can take advantage of these wonderful opportunities. But most important, we must shift how we eat.
That's right.
In order for us to live. We cannot continue to eat like we ate 100 years ago. Chitlins and hog maws and things that are not good for us, pig feet, that we only had to eat because that's what they gave us, is no longer, we have a choice now. All right.
Yeah.
So
Healthy choices.
Now that we have healthy choices, we need to make healthy choices. So I implore upon you, if you want to change the way that your family lives in the future, if you want to change the way that your family will be able to take care of you now versus the way you can be eating. Because if you're eating poorly now, your children will have to take care of you. And it's nothing wrong with children having to take care of you, but should they have to deal with you in a very sickly state, or should they be able to deal with you in a healthy state? You make that choice.
Quality
and just
of
think,
life.
the resources that they spend on you, time and energy, taking care of you being sick, they could be taking care of and helping to build other members, younger members of the family who really need that support. So be thoughtful and conscientious to your family when you think about what you eat. It's not just about you, it's about your family as well. So thank you so much for coming out to POAB.
Thank you.
10th anniversary celebration and pumping it up. You can stay around, Miss Gertie. Your husband's out in the lobby. Y'all come out and get on the stage and funk it up one more time on Peace in the Morning Show. Because that's how we do it on Funky Friday. When we come back, the brother Ihkeem will be talking to you about the Bookshelf Project. So don't leave us long. As a matter of fact, stay, because you know we're going to groove on Funky Friday with the Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stanton, Miss Gertie Williams, and Deacon Bullock. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all get out there and funk it up with them on
tomorrow.
Super Saturday, tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And I'll be remiss if I didn't say we appreciate all the volunteers that's come to support us on that day.
That's right.
We couldn't do it without us.
Could not do it without you. So thank you so much.
And all of our wonderful partners.
There you go.
That's making this possible.
You heard it. You heard when she put it out there. I love that energy.
That's right.
That's that Funky Friday, baby. That's how we do it on the Peace in the Morning Show. Okay, Ron, we ready to make that shift? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, brother.
Have a good day.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, kick it.
I don't want to lose it. Life, but I ain't scared. If I'm gonna be the only one participating in this, I'm lonely whenever you're around. Hey, I'm lonely whenever you're around. Down, 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 down. Whenever you're around.
Turn your volume down on that. There you go, brother. All right, welcome to the Peace of the Morning Show. This is Darius A. Stanton live on Funky Friday. Listen, you know, we're doing a special series this month focused on forward to school. Now, I know a lot of people say back to school, and I know you're returning to school, but we really want to, you know, on the Peace of the Morning Show, focus on the future, speaking what we want to see come into existence. So in that case, we're talking about going forward. We're talking about going to the next level. And speaking of case, we got bookcases here, bookshelf, with the Bookshelf Project man himself, the brother from the Black Child Development Institute right here in the District of Columbia, Brother Ihkeem Mayat. It is a pleasure, brother. It is an honor to have you on the show. Been watching your work via social media for some time now, and I just want to say, look him up. You know, the brother is very thorough. He's very positive. He's focused not on a whole lot of negative, you know, talking about what we not doing or who's not doing this, you know, and I love to see, you know, brothers take out the time to continue to promote the goodness in our community and the images that you project. So, I want to just let you know personally, brother, how much I appreciate you, how much I respect you and love the work that you're doing. So God bless you and your family and all of your work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And welcome to the Peace in the Morning Show, Funky Friday. So, I'm going to jump right in, man, because our time, is very precious. And we have a lot to cover. But the key to today's conversation is centered around men, books, and their family, a winning combination. Men, books, and the family. And the reason why I say men, books, and the family is because, of course, men are the head of the household and should be. And if the case where there are women in the house, head of the household, thank you, sisters. I have the utmost respect for the work that you do to keep our children and our families going. The respect that I have for you as queens of the earth and the universe, is unmatched. But I definitely want to acknowledge the fact that if you have a brother at home, we developed a concept called education, the new sport. And basically it's for us in America and throughout the world to shift our focus from being so caught up on sports, but put that same energy that people put into watching football on Sundays. They even cancel church or close church early, or the preachers even, don't leave, I got 15 more, I know you want to get back to the football. When do you put football before God? I'm not judging, just stating the fact, right? Other sports, you have tons of people out there spend energy, money, time, resources on making sure their children can play sports, but they're not performing in the classroom. And so we want our children to be able to focus on speed reading classes, SAT, and ACT prep. We want our children to know their history, study their culture. We want them to be able to master math and science, as well as take on numerous instruments and foreign languages, which we believe education should start at home. But that model of being able to see dad read. Do you know there's a study, and I apologize for not being able to cite the source. There's a study that actually demonstrates the only thing that really shifts people or children out of poverty is not an increase of wealth. It's not an increase of job or education. It's actually a father reading to a child. That, mind you, so you hit the lottery or you come into a great idea, it's not going to take that family out of generational poverty. But what will break that generational poverty cycle is a father reading to his child. So I want to touch on that, and then I want us to come back to this point. Think about the fact that there's so many absent fathers, and this is to my brothers and my sisters that are out there in the trap. You got family members that's out there in the trap. I want you to be mindful of this. When there's no longer a father there, you can no longer be a grandfather. When you can no longer be a grandfather, you no longer can support that family and provide the wisdom from life's experiences, the ups and downs, the things that you've gone through. And we need to be there as grandfathers to be able to guide, support, enrich our children's lives, give that spirit. But think about back in 1990 when D.C. was the murder capital of the world in 88 and 89 and 90, 450 murders in 1 year, as small as D.C. is, in primarily two parts of the city. And think 28 years later, we still have that same level, not that same level of killing in D.C., but still 300 murders. And that happened in at least 10 to 15 major cities for the last 28 years. So think of the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of fathers and now grandfathers that are no longer alive to read. So when you're in that trap and you think that's the only way to make it for your family, I want you to think about being there for your family first before you make a dime. Is more important than your family not having you as a legacy. So on that note, brother, talk to us about, the work that you do at the Black Child Development Institute.
Oh, man. So absolutely. I'll be honored to discuss, this great organization that I'm proud to be a member of and support. But I do want to, step back for a minute and highlight some of the things that you just mentioned. And one of the things that's important for me, to all the very valid points that you made, is understanding our history and understanding the Trinity. When we understand the Trinity, we understand mother, father, and child. This morning I don't have it on, but my aunt, we certainly understand the symbolic meaning of that. And we know with that we have the Father. I also want to, speak to what that represents as the Father, and as you mentioned, strength. We have to operate from a strength-based approach. And so when we think about our fathers and the males in our lives, that's one of the elements that we know they represent, the strength, holding us up. But we certainly cannot forget and know we cannot have a strong male without a woman, without our females, without our mothers. And so first and foremost, I put that there to recognize that our women, as much as our men do lead the head of households, we know that we couldn't have that without the women. And in most traditional African cultures, the women do serve as that direct individual who we have to go to for our permission.
Right.
Right. So, but nonetheless, in today's society, that male right now certainly is needed to ensure our families are intact and that they are protected. So through this organization, the Black Child Development Institute, particularly the DC affiliate, our membership drive is built around encouraging our community to become warriors for children. And in order to do that, we certainly know we need our males and our black men to step up and be out there and be warriors for our children, protecting our children and protecting our women. With that, we move into the reality, to the point that you made regarding that statistic, and knowing that having a male influence, having black men in the home makes a significant difference. And a part of that, and a reason why we can validate a statistic like that, is built around the social engineering that has taken place for generations. So the social engineering has been designed, as we know, to remove the father and the black male figure from the home.
And that's been for over 400 years.
Over 400 years.
They separate the father, separate the mother, and even take the child off the plantation.
So what have you done? You've divided and separated the Trinity, which we know, if it's together and intact, we are a powerful people, and we are and have been able to accomplish a great many of things. And so the other reality that is important for us through the Black Child Development Institute is to ensure that the work we do as adults throughout the community directly correlates to our responsibility to our children. So every move we make should be connected to, how does this benefit our future generations? In the book that I shared with you, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, Dr. Joy opens up the book speaking to the Maasai warriors. And if you're not familiar with the Maasai warriors, they were and are the most fearless warriors that ever existed. You can look this up and do your history research and understand how they fought fearlessly against any invaders. And when you learn who they are and you see how their society was built on the children. They greeted each other with the understanding that, how are the children? Or they would ask each other, how are the children? And the response would be, the children are well. Because the clear understanding is that if the children are well, then society is well. So here we are, focused on literacy, focused on the reality that our children at this point in time are not all reading on grade level. And we know that by not having children who can read, by not having a community that can read, that makes us powerless. And so this is what's happened, again, social engineering throughout, to prevent us from being powerful. So we have to take that back. We have to reclaim the narrative of who we are. We clearly know that we are intelligent people.
Well, and that's why I have on this jacket. Let me hold that.
Sure, absolutely.
So I wore this T-shirt today to
there you go.
illuminate the fact
There you go.
that we are brilliant as people.
Yes.
And, we focus on the piece of the morning show being asset-based. Really focus, as you said, strength-based.
Strength-based.
And really focusing on the good.
Yes.
We don't have to talk about negative of anybody else. We don't have to lift up any other community about what they do and model that compared to us. The pyramids are standing.
Yes.
The pyramids were built by African people.
Yep.
And you don't hear any conversation about the pyramids planning on falling. It's going to erode by X amount of years.
Yep.
Been standing for generations and will be standing for many more. And so I wore the shirt of our good brother Lewis Latimer, who lived from 1646 to 1628 to 1648, and the brother created the light bulb.
There you go.
What do we have without lights? You see? So when you think about, speaking of engineering, this brother did something for our world.
Absolutely.
That changed the course of history.
Still today.
And he was able to read.
Yep.
Right? So when you think about the power in your message with regard to making sure how are the children are well, you're speaking it into existence, but you're also making sure
absolutely
that our children are taken care of. And so it just it warms my heart to see you promote and push the Bookshelf Project.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the Bookshelf Project, please.
So the Bookshelf Project came about as an attempt to address the literacy initiative. Certainly we have a host of organizations and entities and individuals committed to this fight, because that's what it is. It's a all-out fight to ensure our children have access to books, but also resources that support their literacy and creating in-home literacy-rich activities and in an environment where children truly appreciate reading. What we've done is added to that by ensuring that as much as children get the books and some other support, that we also know that children have an in-home library. And we wanted to make sure that they had an in-home library by making sure they had a bookshelf.
It starts at home.
It all starts at home.
So if you have a library in the home, then that means your children have a place that they don't have to go anywhere outside. They're going to be able to pick up that book and start to read. And even if they just read images and pictures and symbols, that's the start. Because we learn from symbols.
Absolutely.
It's the first language.
An example.
Right? Second language, because the first is We'll get into that. That's another show.
But nonetheless, you set that example by being proactive and having such a resource in the home. So that's what it becomes. So when we don't have this in the home, children don't know how necessarily to appreciate and understand the value of books, organizing them, putting them someplace where I can come back and retrieve them. And so that's what we want to make sure. Because I've been, as an educator, in environments, homes where you see the books are not necessarily treated with the amount of respect that I personally believe books should. I'm one of those that have a hard time sometimes giving up a book because that's how much I appreciate and value it. But our children need to see these examples. And so through the Bookshelf Project, it isn't so much as just giving away a bookshelf and books, which we do. And again, our books are focused on being culturally relevant and responsive. BCDI-DC is partnered with Ward 8 Reads, and through this partnership, we're collaborating and ensuring that children get books with authors that look like them. The stories can speak to their lives. So that's important.
Talk about the importance of children seeing themselves, why that's so important. One, why it's important for them to see and be read to by people that they respect and admire.
Sure.
When we talked about education as a new sport, one of the things that I said that would change reading overnight would be if we watched a basketball game with LeBron, or a football game, which I'm no longer supporting the NFL, a baseball game, but when they're in the dugout or on the bench, they pull out a book.
They pull out a book.
And they start reading.
There you go.
Can you imagine how many can you vision? Now, can you imagine?
Yep.
Can you vision how many children would start to pick up books and reading? Because guess what? Boys, you tell me if I'm wrong, brother. When you were growing up, did your boys wear pink on the football field?
No.
No. But they wear pink on the football field now because they see the pro athletes with pink wristbands, pink headbands, pink socks,
Absolutely.
okay, pink trim jerseys,
Absolutely.
supporting breast cancer awareness.
Yep.
So they followed that leader.
Yep.
So they would follow that leader with a book in their hand.
Absolutely.
So, brothers, if you're watching, I know you check my show out every Friday, LeBron, when you're not playing. But, you know, I want us to really think about the message that sends.
And it is. Imagery is a very important element in how we function in society. So, yes, you have, when you think about illiteracy in this country, and we have 1 in 5 adults who cannot read. So you have to understand that these people are functional. And a lot of their functionality is built around what they see. You know, so a lot of people who cannot read can navigate by being able to see things visually. So you look at our children as well. We look at educating our children. We certainly know that we can use images to help them begin to formulate the foundation of thought and to help them to begin to formulate their words and understanding what those words and the correlation of those words. So we understand imagery is very important. So when you are bombarded with negative imagery, we see what that does to us as well. So we have to be responsible as adults in the community, in media, to represent the right amount of imagery or positive imagery, in this case, of who we are. And so again, having books where children pick them up and can read them. We have a number of authors who come out who are African-American, Black authors, which is important to us. And they create books, and I'm excited for the amount of books that I'm starting to see by local authors who write books speaking to their child's hair, who write books for young men who can be appreciative of their complexion. We need to be able to have these discussions with our children, and our children need to be able to see these images because it's powerful. Right now, there's a movement to ensure that there are more Black male teachers within the school system. Well, I know as a Black male educator that alone, my presence alone, can make a significant difference. And that power I have to be able to utilize in a proper way. And I have been responsible with that, and that's what we have to do. We have to begin to fight back against what other people put out there for us. And so you have to be willing to support your own. You have to be willing to get out, and if you can't find it, you create it. And that's the thing about us as a people. When we don't have what we need, we go out and we create, all right? And that is one of the things that I want to make sure that authors who are out there creating these awesome books have an area or a platform to showcase those books. So the Bookshelf Project is built where we distribute books, we distribute bookshelves, families can come and personalize those bookshelves, but it's also a place for authors to come and be able to showcase their books, hopefully, you know, donate some. But I am a fan, I shouldn't say a fan, I believe it's important to support those authors because making a book costs, you know. So as a community, we have to be willing to support our own in this literacy effort.
So there's an initiative taking place in the state of Maryland now, led by the State of Maryland Legislative Black Caucus and the Black Caucus Foundation, which is called the 2030 Black Agenda, an African American Strategic Plan.
Gotcha.
And it two major focuses on the short term for this project is reading and financial literacy.
Oh, yes.
And so we want to invite you to participate in that. As a matter of fact, this coming Tuesday in Annapolis, Maryland, at the State House building, there will be a monthly meeting convened where we address law enforcement, criminal justice, education, health, the environment, sustainable communities, finance.
Sure.
And so in those work groups that are now building on that strategy, we're also building policies
Yes.
that will impact our communities as
Yes.
well, and legislation, laws that will become part of the system. Because in order for us to make change, you know, there was an event that took place last weekend, and folks, well, you going out to protest those folks.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not my fight.
That's not my.
I'm focused on the systems.
Absolutely.
Because it's the systems that control what transpires.
Right.
Also the media.
Yeah.
And so being able to educate our young people, but our families, on the importance of learning how to read and spending that time, that bonding. One of the reasons why children enjoy sports so much is because they get a sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
They get a sense of usefulness.
Yep.
They get a sense of power and influence.
Sure.
And they also get a sense of support.
Yep.
Because somebody's cheering for them,
Yep.
somebody's patting them on their back, or even if they're fussing at them, they're giving them that individual and group time and energy And so if we put that same kind of energy, so I want to encourage parents, think about when your children are going forward to school, have everybody, not just you, but everybody come and see them off that morning before they go to school. Absolutely. Pray for them before they go to school. So everybody's involved, and their children know how important, not just on graduation day, but the process leading up to that.
We should regularly be uplifting our children, in a positive way throughout their school year. We should be, as parents and community, engaged in our children's education. So, a lot of times, we tend to think that we send our children off to school and that's where everything is supposed to happen for them. And that's absolutely wrong. And
school should be the support.
It's the support.
It's the home should be the first place.
Absolutely. So that family engagement, and I started out with the father, regardless to the circumstance between mother and father, you have to find a way. You have to fight to find a way. Less fighting with each other and more fighting to build a relationship that allows the children to thrive in a healthy fashion. Because there's too much already that's bombarded.
That's right.
Or bombarding our families and our communities. So we have to be able to build this sort of fortress around our children that begins to protect them. Because we've let society social engineer us in this way, it's so easy to come in and do what is happening to us. And so, again, taking responsibility and control. I want to follow up on one other thing because I was doing some research on some literacy activity that's going on in Detroit. Okay. Detroit is just an example of a lot of different things in a good and bad way. But right now, you look at it and things don't look good for our children around education and literacy. You had a federal judge, who basically essentially denied the rights to children to be properly educated within the school system, thereby essentially saying, children don't have a right to be educated or a right to be taught how to read properly. It's a law. Go look it up. But within that, and what that really says is that it's not necessarily a human right, which it should be. But in the city, you will find that there are numerous programs that are existing. And one of them that stood out to me is a boxing program, where a brother started this program where young folks come. Certainly they're going to learn boxing, but before he lets them start anything, they go to read books. So it's books before boxing. And so he's working with a number of children to ensure these children can read. But when you look at his story, he'll tell you, I couldn't read. I made it all the way through high school, and I could not read. So there are a number of stories that's like that.
That's right.
But then also the beauty of those that, despite those challenges, they rose up and went back to do for others. And that's what we need to be as a people. If you can't read, then look for the resources, go towards the resources, get the support, but still in all, work towards ensuring your child and your children can read.
There's an excellent resource. I talked about it last week as we go forward to school. Even as your children are preparing to go back to school, if they're already in school, depending upon where you are in the country or in the world for that matter. We know we broadcast. We got folks in Ghana and Morocco and Trinidad and Jamaica that follow the show, London. And so I want us to think about using resources starting today. One is called Khan Academy, Khan
absolutely.
Academy, and it's an excellent resource for children and families to sit down together at the computer. If you don't have a computer, there's a program out that we support called Internet Essentials, sponsored by Comcast, that provides laptops for $150, desktops for $150 fully loaded. The internet is only $9.95 a month, which is $120 a year. So for $370, which is for 2 pair of Jordans, you can have internet for a year and a laptop to educate your children. But in the Khan Academy, they can start today, go online and start with the reading component, reading comprehension. There's a writing component. Every subject is there. And whatever your challenge your children struggle with, and whatever you struggle with as a parent, you can go through that course and that system, and it will take you and elevate you and continue, and most importantly, give your children the confidence to go back in the classroom. And so the disciplinary issues that your children may be having may be directly related to the food that they're eating, the sugar that they're provided, the medicine that they're on, the environment that you have in the home with them, the shouting, the cussing, the fussing, whatever disruption that are going on. I'm not talking about outside that you can't control, but what you can control inside your house. But the other piece is the ability to be able to read, give them a sense of confidence, they can be more engaged in the class.
Absolutely.
But when they can't read, then they're more apt to become a distraction, because they want to distract you away from asking them a question, away from getting them involved. And that energy, they've got the energy, we've got the power, we have the intellect. The matter is how we channel that.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm so excited about what the Bookshelf Project does. It sets up a model.
Yes.
And there's
Absolutely.
an image that you see in your house that this is a priority.
Yes.
This is important.
Yes.
You know, most people, the first thing they want to do is they want to get a television.
Yeah.
And then they want to get a big screen
Yeah,
TV.
right.
You know, and then everybody's child, they want to know, well, you got a home. At home, do you have a computer? I mean, a phone in the room.
Yep.
And a television.
Yep.
Man, if you're a child and you got a phone and a TV,
Yep.
you set.
You live it.
And actually, you are set back.
Because you don't have a bookshelf or a book library, and we know a child who has access to at least 20 books in the home is equivalent to 2 or 3 grade levels for that child. So
Wow.
we need to ensure at least 20 books, and that was what our goal is with the Bookshelf Project when we support installing in-home libraries, is that they start out with at least 20 books.
So tell us about the Bookshelf Project, specifically the logistics. Give us a call at 240-719-2560 before we get out of here. We want to make sure you can not only support it, but how you can get the Bookshelf Project inside your home.
Absolutely.
How you can donate to other people. So tell us what what those tiers look like. I think it's $125 to donate one bookcase for individuals.
Absolutely. So we've created a 5-tier level of sponsorship to support it. So first and foremost, if you're interested in the Bookshelf Project and actually want to see how it functions currently as we work to build this out, August 25th, we'll be at Eagle Academy Public Charter School in Southeast Washington, D.C. But essentially, in terms...
What time is that?
That's between 10 and 2.
Okay.
But essentially, in terms of sponsoring and wanting to support creating in-home libraries, you can support us as low as $16 currently right now for a bookshelf alone. So you can go to our website, bcdidc.org.
Give it again, please.
bcdidc.org.
bcdidc.org. So that's
dc.org. And there you can click on a donation page, and you can actually go and donate. And you can earmark specifically for the Bookshelf Project. So the form allows you to specify what your donation is. And so in doing that, $16 for a bookshelf, $25 can support us in getting at least 5 books. $116 would be a complete library. So it will come with the bookshelf and the books. And then we have another tier. Certainly, if you wanted to support just getting bookshelves and you had about $1,600, we can get 100 bookshelves. And another tier is $11,600, and that's if you are committed to getting bookshelves and books. So if you have a corporate sponsor, you want to do a corporate sponsorship, you can do that. But certainly, every bit that you're able to give, regardless if it's less than $16, will certainly support this initiative, and we look forward to the help from the community, because this is a community effort.
So I don't know if you've seen a better opportunity to support education in the home than this. It's so important that we find, and we've also given you a resource through the Khan Academy. If your reading is not up to par, if you're not comfortable, you can go on and learn as well. But we want to make sure that our families have books and our children have books to read, and that becomes a part of the process, because without that, we're lost. And so, brother, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, the energy that you bring to the table. One of the things we want to talk about, Dr. Joy DeGruy, DEGRUY. She wrote the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, which talks about the impacts of slavery on us. And so I want us to come back and have a conversation. I'm going to read that because I have a number of thoughts around how slavery has impacted us and still today. And you talked about the separation of the family.
Yep.
And so give us again how they can reach you and support the effort that you're doing with the Bookshelf Project.
So
please.
Absolutely, brother. And if you're interested in reaching me directly, you may call me at 202-808-6273. You can email me at Ihkeem. My first name is IHKEEM @bcdidc.org. And again, you can visit our website, bcdidc.org, for additional details and information.
So I know on the 25th of August, you're going to be at Eagle Academy
Sure.
in the District of Columbia
Sure.
from 10 to 12.
Yep.
Well, we're going to be at the Summer Soul Funk Festival
Okay.
from 12 to 8 and 12 to 9. And I want to invite you to be a part of the Peace in the Morning show
Sure.
that afternoon.
Okay.
Whenever you can come by.
Sure.
So we can let the thousands of people who are going to be there to see Zap and all those other bands that people love and performing. But I want them to also learn and hear about the
We'll
Bookshelf
bring our
Project.
banner, we'll bring the bookshelf,
There you
and
go.
get people to see.
So you can be live on the Peace in the Morning show out there funking it up with our people. So I want to thank Brother Ihkeem Mayat. The peaceful moment that we want to close with today is really focused on that triangle, the Trinity that the brother talked about with the family and making sure that communication is there. Brothers, we need you. Brothers, we need you. Think about yourself and what we could be with the support of our fathers. Brothers, we need you. Brothers, we need you. Think about who we are as a result of the men that have poured into us. For those of us who had grandfathers, you know how important and invaluable those grandfathers are or were in your life. Certainly mine were. But I want you to think about the legacy of our communities and how important it is for us to have people that look like us, that love us, that support us, that encourage us, that hold us accountable, that pull us up, that discipline us, that teaches us discipline, that teaches us work ethic, and puts the value of love, family, God, and spirituality, which is one, over material things, cars, jewelry, clothes, and any other material thing that you can think of. And there's a serious situation and conversation that's out there. It's not getting a whole lot of press because I'm sure people don't want to talk about it and address it. But to the brother Eric Bonet made the comment that rappers who promote disrespecting our women, rappers who promote killing each other in our communities, and rappers who promote the destruction and the selling of drugs, which is destroying our communities, in our communities, are the new faces of white supremacy. And so I've asked all the other guests that I've had on, in the last week regarding the last month regarding this, but do you concur that, now it didn't say all rappers, he said rappers that promote these three things.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's one thing to talk about it. This is where I was and this is where I'm going. This is what I dealt with and this is, who I've become. It's another thing to promote it,
yes,
encourage it, support it,
right,
and it being pushed all over the airwaves, absolutely, videos, images, and so our children see these things.
Absolutely.
And so you no longer need somebody else to hold you back when you have somebody that looks like you, that you hold up, that you respect, that has those material things, promoting these things, then it's directly a reflect. Would you agree?
I totally agree. And you understand, all of us, how impressionable our children are. It doesn't take very much to convince them of a lot of things. It doesn't take very much to ruin a child's life. One adult, one song, one experience could change their life forever.
That's right.
Good or bad.
That's right.
And if you're bombarded with a lot of these same negative images, it does what it's designed to do. Engineer our children to believe that these mechanisms, these material things are way more valuable than their own lives.
That's right.
I'm not a fan of where we're at with music today because I can clearly see, and all of us as adults can clearly see, the detriment. We have to start asking ourselves when we show up at children's events, why are we at children's events having children listen to adult content music? And so I was fortunate to run into a brother, Devin Walker, who has his own show, Uncle Devin's Show. His platform is geared towards creating children's music. And he helped me understand that as much as there are, there's an arena for children's music, it doesn't necessarily cater to our children, black children. And so I'm with that. I'm totally on board for being able to ensure our children have developmental appropriate music and content. Because to go to a children's party and see children doing things that many of them don't even truly understand, they're just imitating and mimicking.
Right.
But that imitation and mimicking eventually results in the reality of what that is supposed to be.
That's right.
So I'm not, and all of us have a right to express that concern. The rappers believe that they have a right to be artists and free to do what they want, but certainly we know good quality music, and may she rest in peace. We know Aretha Franklin produced some quality music that we all grew up on, and it didn't do a lot of the things that we see happening to our children. But nonetheless, I truly stand with Eric Bonet. We got to change this dynamic around music for our children.
That's right. So, brothers, we need you, and we appreciate you being a part of our world. We need you to stand up for your children, for your families, and knowing that music that we listen to, regardless of how good it sounds, you know, how the beat might hit you, you know, the words and the lyrics impact our children. And if you don't believe it, look at the statistics. Look at what we eat and what we die from. Look at what we hold and what we shoot and kill from. And look at what we do to ourselves with the high rates of suicide that we have in our communities amongst African-American males, in particular teenagers between the ages of 16 and 24 years old. So we need you. We need you. We need you. Brother Mayat, we need you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
You got an open invitation to come on back,
Thank you,
forward to the Peace in the Morning show. It doesn't have to be Funky Friday, because next month we'll be going daily on the Peace in the Morning show. This is Darius A. Stanton, thanking our DJ engineer in the studio, Ron, thanking our Queen Jayla Kier Stanton for working with us and producing the studio. And this is Darius A. Stanton with Ihkeem Mayat. See you this weekend at the POAB 10th anniversary. See you Tuesday at the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus 2030 agenda meetings. And don't forget, next Saturday we'll be live at the Summer Soul Music Festival at the Regency Theater, Regency Stadium, all day from 12 to 8. And you can also learn about the Bookshelf Project. This is Darius A. Stanton saying, hey, to the Queen of Soul, peace in the morning.